In today's video, we'll be going over the possibility of information coming out on yet another PlayStation exclusive. Capcom looks to be making a game that's gonna, quote, surprise gamers. The Front Mission team is bringing a new game in 2019. It looks like Dead Cells, while as well received as it was, won't be getting a sequel, and that's coming straight from the game designer. Dot Hack has always been one of my favorite game franchises. However, it looks like Bandai Namco has no intention of publishing a new title at this point. However, during a live stream, CyberConnect2 did implore fans to ask Bandai Namco about a new Dot Hack game and show them that there's actually some demand for it. And lastly, I do want to go over a great deal that's available right now for the Dark Souls trilogy that's available at Best Buy, so we'll cover that at the end of this video. First up, Quantic Dreams, of course, the guys that brought you Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, and most recently, this year, they brought us Detroit Become Human. They are saying that 2018 was a great year, but they have more news to share very soon. Here's what they tweeted out. Quote, "Thank you all for a fabulous year 2018. We shall be back soon with some great news. Stay well and happy. Share your passion and love. Stay tuned." Now, Detroit Become Human was just released, so what could this be? Could it be downloadable content for Detroit? Heavy Rain did get downloadable content, so I don't think that's outside of the realm of possibility. However, I do also believe that Quantic Dream is just moving on to a new project, and could we see a new game from them before the PlayStation 4 closes its books? I think that's possible. Do remember that Quantic Dream was able to put out 2 games in the PlayStation 3's lifecycle. However, the PlayStation 3 just generally had a longer lifecycle than the majority of consoles, so I think that gave Quantic Dream just some additional time to put out 2 games. If they are working on a new PlayStation exclusive, I think more likely it would be a PlayStation 5 title, but that is just my speculation. Detroit Become Human, I think in any other year would have been received as a much better game and would have been recognized at the end of the year for its excellence because it was a really good game. However, the issue is 2018 was just stacked with too many great games. Just on the exclusive side of things, you had games like God of War, you had Marvel's Spider-Man, even a game like Tetris Effect. That game was getting more attention than Detroit Become Human. And then, of course, you also had titles like Shadow of the Colossus. Detroit Become Human in the pecking order just fell at number 4 and number 5 as far as the great exclusives. And honestly, in any other year, it would be at number 2 or number 3, so this year it just had so much competition, and that's just looking at the exclusives. It was still a very good game with a great setting. Of course, the storytelling was on point. That is really Quantic Dream's strong suit, and whatever they're doing next, I'm sure it's going to be a super ambitious project, and I can't wait to hear more. I'll keep you guys up to date. Moving on, here's some very interesting news coming from Capcom producer Jun Takeuchi in an interview with Famitsu. He mentioned while talking about the various games that Capcom are working on, specifically he said that Capcom Division 1, who are also responsible for Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2, they're also working on another game that's gonna make fans think, quote, "Wow, they're making that?" So what could that mean? I have a couple of ideas. Well, it could be a new IP, but I honestly don't think it's that. The statement, "Wow, they're making that," I think that harkens back to an underrated previous franchise that Capcom put out, and now they're going back to the well and releasing a brand new game. What I would like to see, one of 2 things. A new Onimusha title I think would be awesome. I don't think they're working on that yet though, because Onimusha Warlords is just about to be released in January, and I figured Capcom would want to wait and see how that game was commercially received before they started work on a new Onimusha title, but maybe they're just releasing Onimusha Warlords as a way to remind everybody about Onimusha, get people excited about the Onimusha brand, and then right away after Warlords, they announce a new Onimusha title. That could be possible, but Capcom also a while back released Okami HD, and that's what I'm dying to see. I think now would be a great time to bring out Okami 2. I think because of the internet age and because of everyone talking about these great games and games like Okami being received better and better, and it's easier for a word to get out about a game like that, where back in 2005 or 2006 when Okami was originally released, it was really constrained in that little niche bubble, whereas in 2019, I think Okami would be a much bigger mainstream success. Would it be at the level of the biggest games? No, but I do think it would resonate pretty well with gamers. A Restera user did claim it'll be a new Onimusha title, which I would be all over as well. Again, I'm super excited to check out Onimusha again on the PlayStation 4 next month, and if they want to bring forth a new Onimusha title for next generation platforms, that's something I would be all over. But I would also be all over a new Okami title, and I think Okami, as far as that statement of, quote, "Wow, they're making that," I think that generally goes hand in hand with Okami, because Okami, while Okami HD was released, that was like a year ago. With Onimusha, I think everybody saw that as a franchise Capcom could someday go back to, and now they are doing a remaster, and that's got some notoriety attached to it. I don't know, whatever the case may be, again, this is something we'll keep you guys up to date on, but do expect Capcom to bring forth something a little bit surprising. Moving on from that, Project Stella is a brand new game coming from the team that did Front Mission back on the Super Nintendo, and the game looks to be something completely new. However, there's very little known about the game. We did get the first direct screenshot of Project Stella, and you can see a mech there, and it was suggested today by Katawaki Games. They took to Twitter, wished everybody a happy new year, and they did say Project Stella would be released sometime in 2019. This is a pretty interesting game based on that image. Again, a title we don't know much about. However, it's a full-fledged strategy RPG, and it's coming from the team that created the original Front Mission on the Super Nintendo, so that alone, with that information, you can already see that this game has some potential. That's another title we'll keep you guys up to date on. Moving on from that, 2018 brought with it some incredible games, and one game that really surprised a lot of gamers was Dead Cells. That game was a gigantic success from a commercial and critical standpoint, and with that kind of success, you would think, hey, does that open the door for a Dead Cells 2 at some point? Well, the game designer is saying that's probably not gonna happen. Here's what he said. Quote, "In terms of a sequel, we know for sure it's not a good idea to dwell on your success. If you create a big hit, it's best to use the energy to make something different. I don't think we'll make a Dead Cells 2. We're more open to creating more content and opening the game up more to the community. If we did make a Dead Cells 2, it's because we really need the money. We don't want to stick to the same thing though, so I think if we did come back, it would be something quite different, not a platform or a roguelike along these lines." Dead Cells was just a recent release. I could see them going back on that statement in a couple of years if everybody did all they could do with Dead Cells, and then we just clamored for more Dead Cells. Sure, I'm sure they'd make a Dead Cells, but I think it's awesome that they're coming from this mindset of, hey, we created a success with Dead Cells, let's try to create another success of a game that's entirely different. That's something that's very ambitious and very respectable coming over from the guys at Motion Twin. Moving on from that, one Japanese RPG franchise that I've always wanted to see make a comeback since it concluded back in like 2008 is Dot Hack. CyberConnect 2 hosted its End of the World R2 livestream today, and while they didn't announce a brand new Dot Hack game, they did say if fans want a new Dot Hack game, they're encouraging them to ask Bandai Namco about it. I think this is kind of lame. I've been noticing this more and more where publishers and developers are like, well, we're gonna monitor the fan enthusiasm or something like that. People have already been pretty vocal about the fact that they want a new Dot Hack. People have been vocal about the fact they've wanted XYZ game. If you're asking us to be vocal about it, we're already being vocal, and usually it is just a vocal minority. So how about you take that vocal minority's input, create a game, promote it well, and most importantly, create a good game that's gonna engage gamers. From what I heard, the Dot Hack Remastered Collection did fairly well from a commercial standpoint, so I feel like the enthusiasm goes without saying. It's already there. Hopefully at some point we do get a new Dot Hack game, but the devs behind the game and CyberConnect 2 are encouraging fans to ask Bandai Namco directly. And lastly, for those of you guys that want the Dark Souls trilogy on the PlayStation 4, I don't know how you don't own at least one of these games on the PS4, but if you're a collector, if you're a big-time Dark Souls fan, maybe this is something you want in your collection. It is $20 off at Best Buy, and it is down to $59.99. Remember that this includes all three Dark Souls games: Dark Souls Remastered, Dark Souls 2 Scholar of the First Sin, as well as Dark Souls 3 The Fire Fades Edition. And on top of that, you get a pretty slick steelbook. It typically goes for $79.99, which I thought was way too high of a price point, but it is $20 off at Best Buy right now, down to $59.99, and if you have GCU, you can use that and get it for $47.99. Not a bad deal on that. Would I like to see it a little bit cheaper? Of course, but $59.99 is not a bad snag for that. So that's gonna conclude this video. Quantic Dream teasing something new, and great news is coming soon. Capcom is creating a game that's gonna surprise gamers. Could it be a new Onimusha? Could it be Okami 2? Who knows? We'll keep you guys updated on that. Project Stella is a game by the Front Mission team, and it's coming in 2019. Dead Cells is not gonna get a sequel. If you want another Dot Hack game, CyberConnect 2 is telling you to ask Bandai Namco, and we'll leave a link to that great Dark Souls trilogy deal in the description box down below. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.